how I reached C1 level in English. Now guys, I am adding onion and I will stir it a little. Then let the onion fry. After that, I will add the other ingredients. As you can see, after a few minutes of simmering, I will blend the tomato until it becomes a sauce. After blending the tomato and getting the sauce, I will add hot water from the thermos. Then I will add salt and other seasonings like stock cubes. I will cover it and let it boil. English only becomes easy when you use it every day without literally sitting at desk and studying. Like the idea is to leave the language. So grab your Android right now. If you are watching this video, that means you at least, have one. 4 years ago, if someone had told me that one day I would speak English confidently, I probably wouldn't have believed them because I wasn't born in an English speaking country. English is not my first language. My native language is Portuguese. I didn't have expensive courses. I didn't have a computer. I didn't travel abroad. And I definitely didn't have money to pay for private lessons. All I had was an old phone, an internet connection, and a dream. Today I can speak English at around a C1 level. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. Not because I'm special, but because I want you to realize that if someone like me could do it, so you can do it too. Before we start, let me tell you where everything began. I live in a country where English isn't spoken every day. Here, Portuguese is the official language. Like many students, I studied English at school for years. But honestly, I learned almost nothing. We memorized grammar, we copied exercises, we took exams, but nobody told us how to actually communicate. Nobody told us how to think in English. Nobody told us how to have a real conversation in English. And that is one of the biggest problems with our education system. The school system doesn't prepare you to become fluent. It prepares you to pass exams. There is a huge difference, bro, between those things. You can study English for 10 years and still be afraid to introduce yourself. I realized this when I entered university. That is when I looked at myself and thought, I've studied English for years, so why I can't speak it? That question completely changed my life. Why I decided to learn English, I understood something that many people ignore. English isn't just another school subject. It is the language of opportunities. It opens doors, better jobs, better education, people from different countries, knowledge. And for me, there was another one reason. I wanted to create a YouTube channel in English. Actually, I stopped waiting for school to teach me English. I stopped blaming my situation and I took responsibility for my own learning. I decided that if nobody was going to teach me, I would teach myself. And that decision changed everything. So, how did someone with no money, no computer, living in a non-English speaking country reach a C1 level? It wasn't magic, bro. It wasn't talent. It was a few simple habits that I repeated every single day. The first tip completely changed the way I learned English. And honestly, without it, I don't think I would be speaking English today. Let's start with tip number one. Change your mindset first. Before I tell you what apps I used, before I tell you about shadowing or even how AI helped me improve my English, there is something much more important: your mindset. Because your mindset decides whether you will keep learning or give up after a few weeks. When I first started learning English seriously, I had the same thought that many people have. English is too difficult. I'm too old. People who became fluent are talented. I live in the country where nobody speaks English. I can't afford an expensive course. Maybe you are thinking the same thing right now. But one day I asked myself a simple question. Why not me? If someone in Brazil became fluent, why not me? If someone in India learned English on themselves, why not me? If someone in Poland, Russia, or Japan could learn English, why couldn't I? They were not born speaking English. They started from scratch. They started from zero. And that's when I realized something. The biggest obstacle wasn't my country. It wasn't my phone. It wasn't my lack of money. It wasn't the fact that I didn't have a computer. The biggest obstacle was my own head. The moment I stopped making excuses, I started making progress. And I really want you to understand this. Stop saying I don't have enough time. Stop saying I don't have the perfect course. Stop saying I don't have native speakers around me. Because I didn't have those things either. I learned English inside my room with only my phone. Sometimes my internet wasn't even stable, but every single day I showed up, even if it was only for 30 minutes, because consistency is always stronger than motivation. You don't become advanced because you studied 12 hours in one day. You become advanced because you study again and again and again and again for months, for years. So before downloading another app, before buying another grammar book, change the way you think. Instead of saying English is impossible, say English is difficult, but I can learn it. That small change will completely transform your journey because if you believe you can improve, you will keep going along the way. And the people who keep going are usually the ones who become fluent. Now you might be wondering, okay, Kwemi, but how did you actually learn English with only a phone? That is when the second tip comes in. And honestly, this is probably the biggest reason why my English improved so much. Let's talk about immersion. Tip number two, create your own English environment. When people ask me, Kremi, how did you improve your English without living in an English speaking country? My answer is always the same. I brought English into my home. I couldn't move to the United States. I couldn't move to England. So I decided to make my room my English speaking environment. Everything changed after that. I changed my phone language to English. I started watching YouTube in English. Instead of watching random videos in Portuguese, I watched videos about English every single day. I listened to podcasts while working. I watched interviews. I watched documentaries. I read simple articles. Little by little, English stopped being something I studied and it became part of my daily life. And that's exactly what immersion is. Immersion doesn't mean living abroad. It means surrounding yourself with English every day. Even if you only have one phone, don't wait until you move to another country. Start creating your English environment today because your environment shapes your progress. Now, tip number three, shadowing changed everything. Now, let me tell you the technique that improved my pronunciation more than anything else. Shadowing. If you have been following my channel, you already know how much I love shadowing. Here is how I use it. I listen to native speakers, then I pause the video. I repeated exactly what they said. Not after 1 minute, immediately, trying to copy their pronunciation, their rhythm, their intonation, their pauses, everything. At first, I sounded terrible. Sometimes I couldn't even finish one sentence. I had to replay the same audio 5, 10, even 20 times. But I didn't care because every repetition made me a little better. Many learners spend years studying grammar, but they almost never train their mouth to produce English naturally. Shadowing solves that problem. It trains your ears, your mouth, your confidence, and your pronunciation at the same time. If you ask me to choose only one speaking exercise, I would choose shadowing. Every single time, shadowing. Tip number 4, practice speaking even if you are alone. Here is another mistake many learners make. They consume English all day. They watch videos, read books, listen to podcasts, but they never speak. Listening helps you understand. Speaking helps you communicate. They are different skills. For a long time, I didn't have anyone to practice with. So I talked to myself. It sounds funny, but it works. I described what I was doing. I told stories. I answered imaginary questions. Sometimes I stood in front of the mirror and pretend I was making YouTube videos. Looking back, those moments helped me much more than I realized. And today, things are even better. Artificial intelligence has become one of my favorite learning partners. I use AI to ask questions, practice conversations, learn new vocabulary, correct my grammar, and even improve my pronunciation. The amazing thing is that the AI is available anytime for anyone. You don't have to wait for a teacher. You don't have to wait for a friend. You can practice every single day. And that's exactly what I still do. Even though I've reached a C1 level, I still practice because language learning never really ends. Tip number 5, stop chasing perfection. You don't need perfect English to speak English. When I was a beginner, I wanted every sentence to be perfect. I was afraid of making mistakes. I was afraid people would laugh at me, at my accent. I was afraid of sounding stupid. And then I realized something. The people who improve the fastest are usually the people who make the most mistakes because every mistake teaches you something. So don't wait until you know every grammar rule. Don't wait until your pronunciation is perfect. Start speaking now. Your future self will thank you. Final message. If you have watched this video until the end, I just want to tell you one thing. 4 years ago, I was just a student sitting in my room with a phone. No money, no computer, and a dream. Today, I'm speaking English on YouTube. Not because I'm more talented than you, not because I had better opportunities, but because I refused to give up. If I can do it, I truly believe you can do it too. Maybe your journey will take 2 years, 4 years, 1 year, maybe even longer. That's okay. Learning English isn't a race. It's a lifelong journey. Keep showing up, keep practicing, keep making mistakes. And most importantly, never stop believing that you can become fluent. Because one day you will look back and realize that all those small daily efforts completely changed your life. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to improve your English with me. I post videos about shadowing, speaking, pronunciation, vocabulary, and everything that has helped me become a better English speaker. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kremi and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.